Branding, branding, branding. We're not just talking about logos here. Branding can play an important role in how successful a business is, and a lot of y'all just getting started don't really understand it. I can tell by looking at your sites. So let's talk it out. Branding is important because it's one of the primary things that you can use to stand out against your competitors. It helps you relate to your customers and establishes credibility with your business. Good branding in e-commerce is even more important because it helps build the trust that's needed to overcome objections customers have in purchasing from you. It makes you seem like a real company because no one wants to buy from a soulless entity that only exists to separate them from their money. So even if that's ultimately what your business is, good branding can keep you from seeming that way and having that bad impression cost you sales. I mean, you really think Coca-Cola's objective is saving the world? Okay, Junior, I'll have some of what you're drinking because it's obviously stronger than Coke. I don't want to burst your bubble, but that's not exactly how most businesses, especially not big businesses, work. They can have a mission that's part of their branding, and I'm not doubting that a lot of them mean it, whatever it is. But none of that matters, and they'll drop it faster than a hot potato if they're not making any money. Most folks just getting started assume branding is just a logo, and that's part of it, but far from all of it. It's what your company stands for, how it interacts with its customers. Is it fun, entertaining, and playful, or very serious and corporate? Do we care about causes that our customers care about? How are we contributing to the betterment of those causes in our niche? Branding is basically the culmination of everything you're doing to identify yourself and relate to the outside world. That obviously includes logos and color schemes, but also how you approach customer service, social media interactions, transparency, social causes, down to the niche you serve and the types of products you sell. I don't have all the answers on the branding for our $1 million site just yet. I'll develop some of these things as we build out the business, but I have thought out the name, logo, and our general purpose for the business. Let's start with the name. I've widened my niche out to cover all alcohol-based merchandise and not just bourbon. So I wanted to finally get some use out of a brand that I've owned for over a decade now. And I bought this domain and developed the branding for a craft beer project that never really got off the ground. I don't know if it's just me, but every once in a while I'll have an idea. I like to go register the domain name, create the branding, and then maybe just hold on to it hoping I'll find the right use for it. This is definitely one of those cases. Hopefully, this is a successful endeavor, and this is what the name was destined for. If not, I'm sure I'll repurpose it later for something because I really do like the brand. This business will be called Bruzzle, and the website will be at bruzzle.com. But hold up just a second before you start clicking off and killing my view duration, because we haven't built the site yet. There's nothing there. We're going to cover every aspect of building it here in this series. The branding that I already have for Bruzzle is fairly simple, with more of a beer theme than a whiskey one. But with our wider focus on more than bourbon, I think it'll work. The logo I have is designed by a designer. Now, I've done quite a few professional logos in my days, including co-creating this one. For you, if you're following along at home, your logo doesn't have to be fantastic graphic design. It could just be a well-selected font with your business's name. It's all it takes. Don't overthink it. It just has to look clean and professional. You can always spend more on updating your branding later after you have the revenue to support it. Don't get bogged down by nonsense. This logo was a collaboration between a former employee and myself. Now, this is professional graphic design quality, but it's not complicated. It's really a font with a stroke around it, a solid drop shadow to add depth, 2 colors to highlight the brew so the branding makes sense. Then we just added the frothy beer foam to the B. That's literally the only thing on this logo that's not easy to do in Photoshop in 5 minutes for someone with absolutely no Photoshop experience. So if that sounds hard to you, just don't do it on your logo. Keep it simple and it'll still be a solid design to get started with. This isn't rocket surgery. So what does Bruzzle stand for other than showing you folks that I can build a successful website? Well, we also want to show that you can have a good time, be responsible, and enjoy a good drink. And probably that non-alcoholic cocktails suck. That's just truth. And truth hurts sometimes, so if it offends you, well, then put some bourbon in it. Now, I could drag this video out for another 10 minutes if I wanted to, but I'm not into fluff. So that's all I really wanted to say about branding at this point. We'll get a little more into it as we work our way through the process. Now, if you're future people and the next video is already out, well, you'll get a pop-up here as well. Isn't that awesome? Talking to future people. Hey, is COVID over? No, don't tell me. I want it to be a surprise. As a future person, I'm sure you're much wiser than us past people, and you understand the importance of subscribing and notification bells and thumbs up and comments and all that nonsense. So just tap all the buttons if you would. I mean, if you're not into it, that's fine too. You'll just miss out on all this juicy e-commerce goodness. I do appreciate you watching all the way to the end like a champ, and I'll see you next time. My name is TJ Campbell, and I'm the CEO and founder of Jamerson, where we help businesses like yours take those next steps in their e-commerce journey. If you're ready to improve your business and looking for help, go to jamerson.com/go, and I look forward to speaking with you. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.